In this video, I'm going to go over every AMG model of the first generation W463 G-class from 1990 to 2018, while showing this flagship G65 Final Edition. Then I'll discuss what you need to know if you are in the market for an AMG G-class. The original W460 G model was introduced in 1979. It was a utilitarian vehicle developed for military use. Its body-on-frame design with solid axles, locking differentials, and boxy styling made it an off-road icon. The updated W463 was introduced in 1990 with the intention of being a luxury model. The styling was smoothed out and the interior was fitted with more creature comforts, such as available leather upholstery. The most common configuration was the 5-door long wheelbase model, but a short wheelbase 3-door and also convertible were offered. With the Austrian-made G-class now considered a luxury model, AMG released a version of the G-class in 1993 with the 500GE 6.0 AMG. Its M117 engine was bored out to 6 liters and produced over 300 horsepower. Once AMG started merging with Mercedes, the G36 AMG was introduced and fitted with the same M104 engine as found in the C36 AMG with 276 horsepower. During the 1990s, Mercedes was hesitant to bring the G-class to the US market. A small company called Europa International became the sole importer and distributor of modified Euro-spec G-class models to fit US regulations. Because of the explosion of popularity of SUVs by the turn of the century and greater demand for the G-class, Mercedes took over the distribution rights and introduced their own updated G500 to their US showrooms in 2002. Outside the US, the 2002 G63 was a very limited production run with only 5 units built. It was the first G-class with a V12 engine. An AMG model officially arrived to the US market with the G55 being introduced in 2003. Under the hood was the M113 V8 engine with 349 horsepower and polished side-exit exhausts, among other AMG styling cues that differentiated it from a G500. The G55 was an instant hit as the rich and famous lined up to buy it. For the 2005 model, a major upgrade came for the G55 in the form of the M113K V8 compressor engine with power at 469 horsepower and later 500 horsepower. A styling update came around 2007 with an updated gauge cluster and xenon headlights. The G55 stayed around until 2011. In 2013, there was a significant facelift for the G-class. The styling and interior was updated. With the facelift, the G55 was replaced with the G63, featuring the M157 V8 biturbo engine, initially with 536 horsepower and later 563 horsepower for 2016. The G65 was introduced to the US market in 2016, and it became only the third SUV in history with a V12. The G65 also became the most powerful production SUV at the time with 621 horsepower from its M279 engine. The G65 Final Edition marks the end of production for the G65. Only 65 of these were made at a starting price of $253,000 US. The exterior of this G features matte bronze and gloss black accents that complement the obsidian black paintwork. Inside you get Designo black Nampa leather with a carbon fiber effect on the side bolsters and light brown diamond stitching. The carbon fiber trim has bronze strands in it and milled lettering on the grab handle. Having a V12 in a G-class is outrageous, as the engine barely fits into the relatively small engine bay. However, the torque output is a massive 738 pound-feet, and the startup sound is unique. There were quite a few other limited editions of the G-class over the years, such as the G65 Exclusive Edition. More extreme versions of the G include the Maybach G650 Lawn Delay, which shares its engine with the G65, and then the most outrageous being the G63 6x6. Overall, the first generation W463 had the widest range of engines ever fitted to a Mercedes-Benz vehicle during its entire 28 model year run. For 2019, the second generation W463 G-class saw its biggest transformation in decades with a structurally all-new model with more modern driving dynamics, independent front suspension, and more comfort features, all while retaining that G-class character. The 463 G-class is a quality product that does not really have a competitor in that regard. For example, there is no keyless start in this vehicle because the intent is for you to enjoy the tactile feel of the heavy doors. The interior is small and simple compared to an ML or GLE, and everything in the G feels so upright. It feels like you're sitting in a new classic vehicle, which is something unique in the saturated SUV market. On top of quality, nothing else looks like a G-class. Pretty much all other modern SUVs are the same blob-on wheels. A G-class stands out because it is something unique with a lot of character. The G-class body style hasn't really changed over the years, and that's why it's unique. So for those interested in buying an AMG G-class, here's what you need to know. AMG models from the 1990s are very rare, and the real explosion in popularity started with the introduction of the G55 to the US market. The biggest jump in power was with the introduction of the supercharged engine in 2005 to the G55. The main performance difference with the G63 compared to the G55 was the switch to a faster shifting 7-speed transmission over the old 5-speed. The G65 also has the 7-speed transmission, but don't expect it to be any faster than a G63. Generally, the newer the G you get, the more comfortable and refined it will be, as earlier AMG models are known to have a rougher ride quality. An AMG G-class is still pretty quick, but it's not going to corner on the road like a unibody ML or GLE with independent suspension. It's going to drive like most other trucks with a body on frame and solid axles. In other words, not very well. When it comes to optional extras, AMG G-class models were not offered with a lot of optional equipment. Most options over the years were cosmetic, such as a brush guard and different wheels. Inside, a heated steering wheel, Alcantara sport wheel, and rear seat entertainment was offered on later models. There were many exterior color and interior leather choices offered, especially on the G63 and G65. Despite the G-class being a well-built vehicle, there are still a few things that you should look out for. The AMG engines offered are pretty reliable if maintained properly. You may see rear main seal or valve cover oil leaks on M113 engines, and timing chain or cam adjuster noise on the M157. Worn engine and/or transmission mounts causing excessive vibration or movement of the powertrain is fairly common with age and mileage. One thing you'll notice under the hood of many G-class models is that the engine looks like it's tilted to the side of it, which does look kind of weird, but this is not a mechanical fault. Big engines like the M279 and M113K are tilted to clear the steering system. The suspension of the G is very durable. Some seepage of thick axle grease from the swivel hubs is normal, as it's designed to protect what's inside. Because the G wasn't changed very much and retained its focus on simplicity and quality, its used values have been stronger than other mass-produced Mercedes. Looking at the market today, on the lower end, buying an early G55 with higher mileage and the non-compressor engine, expect to pay more than $30,000 US. For a good G55 compressor with lower mileage, expect to pay at least $60,000 or $70,000. G63 prices hover around $80,000 to $100,000 US for examples with lower mileage. G65s are rare and command higher prices compared to G63s, and prices start around $120,000 to $150,000 at the time of this video. Some Mercedes purists may resent what the G-class has become, a once utilitarian off-road vehicle now with over 600 horsepower and sport tires. However, I still appreciate how Mercedes has not changed the fundamental platform of the G and offered something unique. A G65 has locking differentials that may never be used off-road. The later AMG models really have been sought after more for their form rather than function, which is the inverse philosophy of the original G. Looking for a G-class that you will actually use? Getting an early G55, G500, or an earlier diesel-powered G and fitting some off-road tires and a few other modifications leaves you with an undisputed off-road beast. That's it for this overview on the W463 AMG models. Thanks for watching, and if you want to support the channel, take a look at my store, link is in the description. If you want to see more AMG content, subscribe for more videos like this one.